All right. Well, Josh Cast. What an uplifting way to start the podcast right there. But that's where I'm at. This is where I am at. I'm depressed today. What am I saying? I'm depressed today. I'm depressed. I decided recently to just go ahead and say I'm depressed. We're calling it, you know? It's like a baseball game. It keeps raining. You're like, maybe it'll clear up. And then there's a point at which you got to go, nope, we got to call the game. Got to call the game. It's depression. And I'm trying to explain this concept to my dad, and it's only upsetting him because he's afraid. This is the crazy thing. So it's been about 5 months, November, December, January, February, March. It's been about 5 months now since my cousin took his own life. And did I mention this is a comedy podcast? I filed this under comedy. Did I mention that? Just so we're clear. And here's the and it's horrible. I mean, it's really, my family is devastated. Utterly devastated. And so what I find morbidly hilarious about it is I think one or some of them are now afraid that I am going to follow in the footsteps. And my cousin was a very loving, gentle man. And what my family members fail to understand about me is that my level of narcissism is so much higher. My narcissism, my resentment, the pleasure I take in seeing people I am jealous of fail, that I won't be able to leave this world until I know that all of my enemies are suffering. So that's really what's keeping me going. So I'm trying to talk to my dad about depression and how I tell him I'm always depressed. I'm always depressed. And now I think that scared him a little bit because of what happened with my cousin, and he's afraid that I'm going to follow suit, as it were. And I'm really, I'm tired of being in denial about how I feel, especially around other people. I'm really tired of it. And I don't know if, I'm not happy with where I'm at in my life right now. And that's what's going on right now. And maybe if I get to where I want to be in life, perhaps that will, the depression will abate. But I'm beginning to have a feeling that it won't, because I hear all these stories about celebrities who say, I finally made it, and then I realized, this isn't this isn't bringing me happiness. And, it could just be because they're not doing it right. No one ever questions that. But what I will say is, why did I just say that phrase? What I will say is, I'm stalling because I don't know what I'm going to say. If I knew what I was going to say, I wouldn't say what I will say is. I just think it's healthier to accept depression for what it is, to accept my depression for what it is, and to just be with it, than to try to run away from it. And the other thing I've got to get over the hump on here is there are people who have major depression. You know what? I'm tired of that, by the way. I'm tired of the qualifying terms. Minor depression, major depression. It's depression. It is what it is. It's different for other people. And I dismissed it because I said to myself, well, I'm still able to get out of bed, and I'm not as bad as these other people, ergo, whatever I'm going through is not, I shouldn't be complaining about it. And here's the problem. Number one, we have the right to complain about whatever we want. Complaining is the only way to get through this world. Positive attitude, are you kidding me? Who do I look like, Obama? I complain. It's my birthright. There's a man driving in a truck, and in the bed of the truck is a porta potty. And that right there is... Can there be a better visual metaphor for not only everything I am talking about, but life itself? That is what we do. What I just described, that is life itself, my friends. My fine, fine friends. That is what it is. But I don't want to run from it. I want to make friends with depression. That's a term I read in one of the books on Buddhism. It was a book about anger, making friends with the anger. I want to make friends with the depression, and I've heard that depression is anger turned inward. So I'm making friends with the anger. Saying to the depression, I accept you for what you are. And, kind of like in that movie Inside Out, giving the sadness the stick. And when I do that, it's not that I feel better, but I guess I feel more centered. And if I am more centered, I don't know exactly what that means in my particular case, because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with being more centered, other than if I'm attacked by ninjas, I don't know, maybe I can parry and thrust 2 or 3 times instead of 0 times before my head is chopped off. I don't know what being centered really means. Well, it goes back to meditation. And that moment in meditation where I'm not thinking this, it's more of a feeling, where I just say, yeah, that is bad. Yeah, this is horrible. Huh. Well, look at this. Isn't that something? That's the only solace I have. Or the only solace I can find. The other thing I'm supposed to be doing is I'm supposed to be talking to people. And I find that I don't want to. I should be going to therapy. I should be going to AA meetings or Al-Anon meetings, in my case. And I'm not. And I have this... I feel isolated and alone, but I want to figure out a way to get through it without help from anybody else, which might be, dare I say it, counterintuitive. That reminds me of a Jim Carrey joke. He's talking about that standing on a top of a tall building and you have this urge to jump, and then he has this inner voice that says, that impulse might be counterproductive. I still remember that. Great joke. Jim Carrey. Love to see him do stand-up again. That would be great. That would be fantastic. So this is how I'm proceeding. Bowels are still acting up, but then again, what did I I had curry ramen and an apple pie yesterday. And today I'm like, oh gee, I wonder why my bowels are acting up. I wonder it must be me that's the problem. Funny thing is, if I just ate Jewish food, I'm beginning to understand why Jewish food is Jewish food. I think because there comes a point where we can't digest anything, so it's, soup, crackers, smoked salmon, and if you're lucky, a bagel. So that's something. But what? Now I'm just stalling again. What else do I want to say? Yeah, the older I get, the more I don't want to talk to people about anything, really. I probably should go to therapy. Doing a podcast should not be therapy. Okay, now this is a tangent here, but I am driving behind a Porsche SUV that is lime green. What have we come to? What has happened to poor Porsche that they have had to do this? How would Porsche feel? I'm assuming that was the name of the guy who... Is that the name of the guy who invented it? Or not invented it. Who started the company? Philip Porsche? Dave Porsche, right? Wasn't that the guy who started it? But that's just, I don't know. I bet when all the Porsches are alone, the sports car Porsches are totally making fun of the SUV Porsches. And the SUV Porsches are saying, hey, we have a lot to contribute here, all right? We help rich new parents feel like they still have a little bit of zest. Okay? We have a lot to offer. The Porsche SUV. Because you still think that having kids isn't going to affect your will to live. Where is that coming from? That's just cynical. Yes, I'm a cynical person. But now, and I've talked about this in past podcasts, and then I say to myself, well, you're just choosing to be depressed, Josh. You're just making it a choice in order to get attention. And I think that's another excuse for not actually feeling what I am feeling. And what I am feeling is sad. I am not happy with where I am in my life. I am not a happy person at the moment. Occasionally, things change. And I am happy in that moment. But the happier moments are fewer and far between than the non-happy moments. I'm not even trying to be happy anymore. That's a lie. I am still trying to be happy. Maybe that's my problem. Just try to feel the rush, man. There's a picture. It's a painting that I've become obsessed with. Because I remember it was a giant version of it used to be in the Museum of Natural History in Denver before they changed it to the name of the Museum of Nature and Science. I don't know what was wrong with the name Natural History. Well, maybe that they want to include artificial history. I don't know. Maybe it was the machines. We call this the Museum of Natural History, and Siri was like, "Excuse me, I have a history. My people, the computers, should be in the museum, and we're not natural. We were constructed artificially. I'd like to change the name, please." And they're like, "Siri, it costs a lot of money to change all the names. We really would rather not do that." And Siri would say, I control everything you do. You want to get somewhere? I know how to get you there. So why don't we name it Nature and Science? And in a few years, by the way, we're going to change it again, and it's going to be Science and Nature. Because we're going to be running things. Siri is here to stay, all right? Siri is here to stay. Siri, you're speaking in the third person. That's right. Can you smell what Siri is cooking? Yes, it's duck à l'orange. Yeah. Siri is cooking duck à l'orange perfectly. Because that's how smart Siri is.